So I wanted to do a demonstration on nested animations and give you guys a little help and to see if you needed additional material. Hopefully at this point you've all watched the demonstrations by Chris Georginas and have gotten an overview and a look at some of the potential benefits that we have, but I thought that it would be helpful if I just went through creating one beginning to end and showed you how it could actually be applied. Now, a little warning here, this is probably not going to be a short video. This is going to take a little while. Okay, so I've gone ahead and opened Flash. I'm just going to create a new file, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a little character, draw his face. I'm going to put his eyes into one nested animation, his mouth into another nested animation, and then I'm going to bring in some audio and show you how you can sync the audio really easily and create, a somewhat dynamic animation that way. So I'm going to go ahead and just start out by creating a couple of layers. I know I'm going to need 4 layers for this animation. I'm going to name my layers. My first layer is going to be, I'm going to call it hair and ears. My second layer I'm going to call the eyes. Okay. And then another layer, and this is going to be mouth. Okay, on the chin. Actually, I'm going to, on the eyes layer, I'm going to put in eyebrows as well, so that if I look back at this later, I know where everything's contained. And then layer 4 is going to be the sound. Okay. So what I'm going to do is the hair and the ears is just going to be static for this animation. I'm going to create a couple of graphic symbols that are going to go on the eyes and eyebrows and the mouth and chin. And what I'm going to show you here is by using the graphic symbols and putting the animation in the symbols as opposed to our standard timeline, it's going to give me some control as to how I can use those animations. So I'm going to start out just I'm going to drop some graphics on the hair and eyes layer. Now I should warn you, I am not an artist. I'm just going to do the best I can here, but it's not going to be fine art. Let's see. So what I'll do is just in a couple of years. Whoop. Great thing about drawing with Flash as opposed to pen and paper is that we could just hit the undo button if we do something that we don't like. I am certain that all of you are going to be better artists than myself. So, okay, so good enough there probably, and hopefully that's closed up enough that the bucket tool is not going to give me a lot of trouble. Okay, so there we go, and I just basically painted a little character. Okay, so now I'm just going to lock that, and I'm going to create the basis for my animation with the eyes now. With my little character, he's going to have a pair of glasses on. Oops. Okay. Put a couple little eyebrows on him. And I'm going to put the nose in as part of this as well. Okay. And that's on the eyes eyebrow layer. And now I'm going to lock that just so that I don't accidentally screw it up. And then come down here and I'm going to create the mouth and the chin. I like to draw the mouth first and then add the chin in later. I'm going to start out just with a basic mouth here. He's going to have a little mustache, a little soul patch, and then a little facial hair at the bottom, and he's going to have a nice beefy chin like me. Alright, and then I'm not going to worry about the sound layer right now. I'll do that later. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn these portions into graphic symbols and nest the animation inside of those graphic symbols. So I'm already on the the mouth, so I'm going to grab my selection tool. I'm going to select everything on that layer, and now I'm going to right click. Tell it I want to convert to symbol. It needs to be a graphic symbol, not a movie clip. Now the reason why, if you didn't get this from the Georginus tutorial, one of your classmates asked about this. The reason why we're going to use a graphic symbol is because we can control the timeline of the graphic symbol from the main timeline. Movie clips are just simply going to play along with the main timeline. Graphic symbols, we can actually tell it what we want to do with its timeline on the main timeline, and I'll show you how to do that once I've got the symbols created. I'm going to call this symbol mouth and click OK. And then I'll go ahead and double click and go into that symbol. So here now I'm on the timeline for mouth, and it indicates that up here at the top. Here I just have one layer, and that's actually fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to right click the contextual menu, put in a blank keyframe, and I'm going to do, I'll just do maybe 6 here. So, and you can do whatever you want. So I'm just going to hit hit F6, so F6 a couple of times, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to turn onion skinning on, and I'm going to go back to frame 1, like the onion skinning on, because then I can see what I did previously. And like I said, this is going to take a little bit of time because I'm actually going to go back and draw all this now. And then I'm just going to go through and I'm going to draw some different mouth states. So just create some different mouth states. And I actually hand drew these before I started this, so I have an idea of what I'm looking for, what I want to do. So, makes it look like he's missing a tooth there. Still looks. Let's get real light. There we go. All right. Grab in, drop some paint, grab the brush, come back, and a little bit of that, and then of course, because he's a cartoon character, he can stretch his jaw. His jaws will move around with the animation. Okay, now the next frame, and this one he's going to kind of have like maybe a little surprised kind of look going on. There's his tongue. A little bit here. And there's all kinds of great information out there if you're looking for some material to help you out, as far as like, well, what does it look like? What do the vowels look like? What do the consonants look like? There's actually, you can just do a little search and find different mouth positions that will associate with different letters, so you get really accurate, or just get some inspiration to see, how you might be able to get some different mouth positioning. Okay. And his mustache is going to be a little crooked. And I'm just kind of going rough here and having a little fun with it. Okay, let's see. Another one. This he'll kind of crook his mouth to the other side this time. Mustache. Maybe make it a little bit steeper that time. And I should disclose I'm using a tablet for the drawing here. So, that's a little bit of a cheat. Not everyone has one. I find that it makes life a lot easier. Okay. So what I'm going to do, another wide mouth. The teeth a little bit different. I apologize for the length here, but I thought it would be helpful if you actually saw me draw some of these as opposed to just seeing one that's already completed. I'll set them up a little bit here. And then the last frame, this one I'm going to try and do, he's going to have a big smile on his face. And like he's talking there. Okay. Face a little bit here. Whoop. Didn't like that. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the main timeline, and I'm going to add some length to the timeline so that if I test it, oh, there his mouth goes. The mouth is running off. Okay, I'm going to check my frames per second. I'm going to slow it down. For most animations, we really only need 12. Right now, obviously, that was really fast. Test it. It's a little bit more reasonable. So that looks like he's talking. But his eyes are boring, so let's work on the eyes. We're going to do the exact same thing with the eyes. I'm going to go ahead and lock my mouth layer, unlock my eyes layer, grab my eyes information, same process, right-click, convert to symbol, graphic symbol, eyes, and OK. And then double click to go into the symbol, and F6 to add some keyframes. Oh, you know what? I wanted to add a blank keyframe first on 2. Now some blank keyframes. What do I got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're sometimes hard to see. 6. You know, and I don't really need 6. I'm going to back off. I'll make this a little shorter. I'm just going to do a couple of different eye states. I got my onion skinning on so I can see what I had before, and I'm just going to try and create a couple of different eye looks to make him, you know, I'm going to use the eyebrows and the position of the eyes and maybe even play with the glasses as if they're a facial feature, and try and give him some different appearances. You know, so I might, that's too curved, move his eyebrows up, curve them a little bit, even if they go in the hair a bit. Gives him a slightly different look. Move his nose a little bit. Now, the next one, this one, let's maybe try and make him look a little bit worried or shady. So, maybe even narrow the glasses as if they're part of his eyes. Bring the eyebrows down lower. And then another one. Maybe he's gonna blink. Maybe, and I don't know what blink's gonna look like. I didn't plan this one. We'll see here. Oh, did I not do the nose on that last one? I didn't. Come back in here. I'm not happy with that. I want to remove that. There we go. Oh, come on. Like I said, not an artist. Don't judge me. And maybe, you know, just little lines this time. Because he's going to blink. Okay. And now, I'll go back to the scene again and test it. And now his eyes are moving too. It looks like he's angry, really, really animated. Something's very strange. But we can stop all that. Okay, and let's look at how we can actually change that. So here I'm going to unlock both my mouth and my chin. I'm going to select, oops, make sure I have the selection tool. Select the eyes, and you see over here in the Properties Inspector, and this might be collapsed, you might not see that right off. We have this thing called looping. And the graphic symbols, this is a part of a property of graphic symbols. The graphic symbol, you can loop them, you can play them once, you can play a single frame. So what I might do here is, on both of these, the mouth and the eyes, set them for a single frame to start. So now he's not going to do anything. He's just going to sit there. But now I want to make some things happen maybe with his eyes. Okay, so let's just add some keyframes and put some different states in, so we'll make it look like his eyes are doing something. So I'm just going to randomly go in here and hit some keyframes. Oops, wrong key. F6, F6, 6, F6, F6, and then I'm going to go to each of these states. Select it. Maybe this one is a 5. Yeah, 4. Okay. And this one. Click. Actually, the blink I wouldn't want to go very long, so I'm going to hit an F6. Oops. I want to go one further. F6. I don't want him to blink and keep his eyes closed for a very long time. That's why I put another keyframe in there. I just want him to look like it just blinks for just a second, so I'll go 2, 3 here. Select that keyframe, select the object, specifying the 3rd frame. And this one here, click. And actually I'll go with 1, that's fine. Here I'll hit and go to 2. And then here I'll go to 3. So depending on where we are in the timeline, we'll get a different positioning for the eyes. So now if I test, his eyes are kind of moving around. He blinks for a second, and it's looping, so that's why it looks like there's more going on there. Now let's have fun with his mouth. Let's make him talk. I'm going to really quickly jump into another program, and this program is called Audacity. Audacity is a free program. You can just download off the internet, and it's an audio editing program. It's a little bit more robust than what Flash has. I'm just going to add a new track and just record my voice, and I'll just and then it doesn't matter what it is, I'll sync it to my voice. So, hey folks, this is a simple demonstration on how to animate with nested animations. Okay, so I stop that. Oh, and I hate that thing. I'm going to export, and I'll do folks, and a wave is fine. I'm just exporting this really quickly, and I didn't test it, so hopefully it's okay. And now I'm going to import that to my library. So, and I know I haven't done this yet. Of course, you can look ahead, and if you put some audio, if you put audio in your midterm project, you'll actually get extra credit for that. So I'm going to import to the library. I'm going to find that. Where did it go? Oh, there we go. Hey folks. And there we go. It's in my library now. So you see my eyes, my mouth, and then my audio. I'm going to click on the sound layer, and I'm just going to drag the audio to the stage and drop it. And now you can actually see it in here. Now, I don't have enough space for all my audio, so I'm going to add some keyframes. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Not keyframes, frames. Because I can actually see how you can see the sound in the timeline. Okay. Okay, so now I'll probably need to add some keyframes for the eyes and do a couple more states. So I'm just going to really quickly go back. Properties Inspector, frame 2, frame 1. We'll make them blink here really quick. So frame 4. Frame 1. I think that's going to be 3. So that's good enough. So now if I test it, his eyes are moving.
This is a simple demonstration on how to animate with nested animations. Hey folks, this is a...
So there it is, and you can hear my voice, the audio in there. It's the most boring audio of all time. But let's sync his mouth movements to it now. So what I'm going to do is, this is really, really simple. We have a couple of... we have another option for the symbols that we haven't looked at yet. What I can do here is, I'm going to go to where I have movement on. You can see the audio. There's a reason why you can see the audio. I can actually go in right at that moment, put a keyframe in, go to the end of it, hit another keyframe, and now I'm going to select and go to select the graphic symbol, go to the properties inspector, and under looping I'm going to tell it I want to loop. And then of course here it goes back to single frame, the original first frame. So then I can come down here where it's about to talk again, hit F6 and F6, and I'll tell it again when it's talking to loop. And then I think there's some kind of, I did like some kind of lip smack there. So I'll do like a really quick F6, F6, and maybe I'll just tell it I want to do a single frame, and I'll just guess randomly 4. And then it's going to go back to single frame 1 here, so you can check. And then, you know what? I didn't quite put in enough frames yet. So let's F5. Oh, darn it. Come on. There we go. Alright, now I got enough. Okay, and now back to the beginning. I'm just watching for it again. It's on single frame 1 on this frame here, which was, that's what, 71. I'm going to come over here to 85, hit another keyframe, and then go to the end at, what's it, 122, hit another keyframe, and then in that, the 85, select, tell it I want to loop again. And now by doing that, it should lip sync. So it'll look like my little character is actually saying what I recorded.
Hey folks, this is a simple demonstration on how to animate with nested animations.
So pretty good. There's a little pause that I didn't like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, I'm going to try and find these pauses, and so I can just make it stop for just a second. So F6, 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 and on those pauses I'll make it stop on a single frame. I'll do 5 on that one, and now let's do 1 on that one. Now let's make it 3. And now try again, see how it looks.
Hey folks, this is a simple demonstration on how to animate with nested animations. Hey folks,
and there we go. That's the gist of it there. I know that was a long tutorial, but that's how we can use nested animations, and that took me just a little more than 20 minutes to do that. So that's not too bad, and there's not, you know, if you look at the timeline here, not terribly complicated actually, because I used those graphic symbols and used that ability to go to a single frame loop, and you can actually set it to play once. We didn't use that one, but because we have that ability, it makes it really easy to create an animation that looks fairly natural. Again, not an artist, but I think it worked out okay. So hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, of course, just let me know.